This is episode 4 of Deep in Some Thoughts, and today we're getting into my life as a martial artist. Let's go. Thanks for tuning in to episode 4 of Deep in Some Thoughts. And today, the first thought on my mind is Happy Father's Day to all the daddies out there. Because by the time this is out, Father's Day will be over. Father's Day would have passed. So, Happy Father's Day if you're a dad or about to be a dad or a sugar daddy, whichever works. Happy Father's Day. This Father's Day we're going to go cook out with my dad. And then I'm going to take him to the breaking point and we're going to go smash some stuff. So me, my brother, my dad, we're going to go over and smash some stuff. And it's going to feel real nice. So I'm just going to jump right in, man. I'm going to jump right into it. I got a lot of stuff to talk about today. So I'm going to make this first part real quick. Maybe. Just maybe. I like to rant sometimes. So I've been listening to a lot of 80s music. I like 80s music, but specifically 80s hip hop. And the first thing I have to say about that is 80s music is so great. I love it. It's awesome. And it rips, dude. It fucking rips. Okay, and specifically the lyrics of 80s music is so simple that it's so simple and it still rips. You know what I'm saying? They're still bangers. And it's hard to believe, how far music has come from that time. 80s music was so simple. I mean, the beats weren't simple at that time, but I'm talking about the lyrics. The lyrics were so simple. And it's like now you have to be either a really good lyricist or you just don't know how to talk. Like the mumble rap, dude. So either you're like a poet, either you're like a poet or you're a mumble rapper. But either or, you got to be good at one or the other. Now, the lyrics of 80s rap music is so simple. All you're doing is you're just describing simple facts about yourself, man. For instance, I actually have some lyrics pulled up here. And now I'm going to specifically talk about the Sugar Hill Gang. Okay? And I absolutely love the Sugar Hill Gang. Okay? But they got some fucking badass music. They got bass lines. They got drums. They got hip hop beats. They got it all, man. They created hip hop. They're one of the biggest and best examples of the beginning of hip hop. Okay? So, I'm just going to read the beginning verse of Rapper's Delight. And who doesn't know that song? Okay? The one that's like, to the hip hop, the hippie dibby hip hoppity don't stop. Rock it to the bang bang, rock it to up the boogie and the boogie. I was doing so good, man. Okay, so Rapper's Delight, okay? And that song is awesome. I love that song. But just so you get a taste of how simple the lyrics are, okay? Now, should I read it or should I sing it? Rap it? Okay. Alright, so it starts off, it goes, now what you hear is not a test, I'm a rapping to the beat. It's me, the groove, and all my friends, we're gonna try to move your feet. You see, I am Wonder Mike, and I like to say hello to the black, to the white, the red, and the brown, the purple, and yellow. But first, I gotta bang, bang, the boogie to the boogie, the up, jump, the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie, let's rock. You don't stop. Rock the rhythm and I'll make your body rock. So as you can see, super simple. And they make it catchy. And they somehow turned it into a rap song. Now, they are literally taking facts. They're like seeing shit and they're just rapping it. You know? You're like, this is me. This is my name. I'm Wonder Mike. And I want to say hello to all the people listening to this song. And then they're like, I'm going to say hello to everybody. And then they're like, hey, if you like this song, it's going to make your body move, man. You know? That's pretty much all they're saying. You know, I wish I grew up in the 80s, man. Early 80s? Late 80s? I could be a rapper, man. You know? You know what I'm saying? Like, my name is Juan and I like to say, I like to eat chicken every day. My skin is white but I'm brown inside, but I don't speak Spanish, so don't even try. You see? I could do it, man. Now it's not a test, man. We're live, man. We're fucking live. There ain't no test up in this bitch. Oh, another example is I don't remember the artist, but it's the song. It's like, you got what I need. What you say is just a friend. First of all, that song specifically, you're not even rhyming, okay? Really. You're just telling a story. And for two, you can't even sing, dude. So in the 80s, you didn't have to be good at singing or rapping. And you just have a banger, dude. That song's a banger. I like that song. If you don't like that song, then you're crazy. And if you don't like the Sugar Hill Gang, man, then we can't be friends. Okay? Anyways. Let's go back to Father's Day. My parents are going to make this cake called Better Than Sex cake. Now, I've never heard of this before. And my mom was like, I want to make it because, like, we got to see if it's better than sex. You know? And I'm like, don't want to know if it's better than sex. You know? So the name of the cake is literally Better Than Sex cake. Better Than Sex cake. Now if we try this cake, and it's better than sex, dude, I'm leaving town, man. You know? I'm hiking to the top of the Himalayas. And I'm going to join a monastery. And I'm going to be a monk, dude. I'm going to be celibate for the rest of my life. Because if a cake is better than sex, I'm done with sex, dude. You know? That's it. All you need is the cake. And then when I'm a Grand Master monk, or I'm not really sure what they're called, to be honest, but when I'm the top dog, and I know how to meditate, dude, and I can float, you know? And somebody walks in and be like, any requests for today, Grandmaster? And I was saying, chocolate cake, please. But not just any chocolate cake. Give me the better than sex cake. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. You know? That's all you need, man. I'm not even going to take clothes. I'm just going to eat cake. Anyways. So yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know if it's better than sex. If I'm not here next week, if the podcast is over, you got your answer. Because I'm going to pack up and leave right then and there. I'm not even going to finish Father's Day, man. I'm going to take one bite, dude, and I'm out. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Next on the list is my friend Brendan, who I talked about before on the podcast. We were working on something. And me and Brendan like to make videos and do stuff and have fun. Brendan is currently going to film school, so I went up to Sierra Vista to help him film something for school. And he wrote the script. We filmed that. Came out good. But we had to do some reshoots. So he came down here. We did some reshoots. And we're like, you know what? Let's revise the script. So me and him sat down and we kind of like bounce off of each other. We feed off of each other. And we came up with essentially a whole new script for like what I wanted to say. And we came up with the best one-liner, actually two-liner, you've ever heard in your life. Okay? Now the premise of this, am I even using that word correctly? Now the premise of this video is for a cleaning service. So basically the school sent him, this is what you need to write a script about and shoot it. And it's like an ad for a cleaning service. It's called Beverly Hills Clean. Okay? Now I'll tell you the two-liner, and then I have the video so I can show it to you. And the two-liner was, okay, so it's a cleaning service, so I'm going to come clean your house, basically. And it's like, if that tiger guy got you glued to your screen, I'll Carol Baskin your dishes. Now, if you tell me that's not the best line you've heard all summer, then you're crazy, dude. Because it's the best, and it's relevant. And the Tiger King has been the only normal thing about 2020. It's been the best thing about 2020. So, anyways, so we're going to show you the video. Okay? Now, if you want to watch it again, I will post a link in the description to the YouTube channel. And it is Brendan's YouTube channel. And you can see my face all over that YouTube channel as well. Now, before I play this video, okay? Before I play this video, you need to know that it is meant to be a bad video, okay? And it's like 4 different ad clips put into one video, so if it like jumps around, then you understand that ad ended and then the next ad started, okay? So the acting is bad on purpose, okay? I'm not a bad actor, at least I don't think. If I am, my friends should know better than to let me believe that I'm a good actor. And here we go. So dirty, so messy.
Wow, what is that horrible smell? Well,
So
it seems
dirty.
like you could use some help cleaning this place up. Well, good news, my boy. I have a solution for you. Beverly Hills Clean.
Beverly Hills? Clean? It's not Beverly Hills, it's Arizona. So flamboyant,
You
dude.
should know better than questioning a random voice. Beverly Hills Clean. With Beverly Hills Clean, you can turn this into this.
Wow.
Beverly Hills Clean, now offering the Summer Bling Clean Bundle. Beverly Hills Clean.
Wow.
Let us be your partner in crime.
Hi, I'm Ed Ashton, founder and CEO of Beverly Hills Clean. You can't get your lazy butt out of bed? I'm there. That tiger guy got you glued to your screen? Oh, Carol, bask in your dishes. So don't social distance yourself from my cleaning service. I could be in and out and you won't even see my face. So I'm Ed Ashton, and let's be partners in crime.
Beverly Hills Clean.
Hi, I'm Ed Ashton, founder and CEO of Beverly Hills Clean. I started this company 1.5 months ago and turned it into the most sought out company in America. I'm Ed Ashton, and we can be partners in crime. First of all, dude, I look so high in that video, dude. I think I like just woke up, you know? And he's like, oh, I'm here. Let's make this video. Oh, actually, yeah, I just woke up. And get this, Brendan was going to get here at a certain time. And he called me and called me and called me. And I didn't wake up, dude. He was waiting outside of my house for like 45 minutes, dude. And I woke up like, oh, Brendan's here. So that's what happened there. I look so high. My favorite part is this. The thumbs up, dude. So that was the video. Now, I think it's amazing. And I think we should start that cleaning service, dude, and use that as the ad. Let's fucking do it, dude. If you want to be my employee, apply at www.beverlyhillsclean.com. That's not a real website. Okay, so now to get into the topic of the day. My life as a martial artist. Okay, now I'm going to go through my life fairly quickly because it's a long life. But I'm kind of going to go chronologically here, and it's going to be like pinpoints. Okay? So my life as a martial artist, it's been a long ride. And martial arts has been a huge part of my life. And I've literally dedicated my life to martial arts. Like, even as a teenager, I didn't go to football games. I had to miss, like, school dances. I had to do this. I had to do that. And I missed a lot of things growing up just because I had practice. Or I had to go to a tournament. Or I was training, so I couldn't distract myself. Or whatever. So, we're going to start at the beginning. In 1994. Okay? I started martial arts at 2 years old. Now, my dad was teaching at his parents' house, and he was teaching to his friends. And I wanted to join the class, and my dad said no. And I wanted to join. I kept asking. He kept saying no. So, he would literally lock me out of the room, but the room had like glass windows. And one day he's teaching and he looks over, and this is what he told me. He looks over and he sees me copying him perfectly. Like, I was doing the techniques better than the students that he was teaching, from what he told me. Holding my blankie and my bottle. Okay? And he tells that story all the time just to embarrass my ass in front of everybody. But that's when he decided, okay, I'll teach him. So I started when I was 2, and I mean, I don't remember hardly any of it, but I do remember when I got my first belt, which was so usually when you start karate, you get a white belt. You're a white belt. He awarded me a white belt at 5. So I didn't start getting belts until after 5. So 3 years with no belt. And I mean, obviously it didn't matter. I didn't know. I just wanted to do what my dad was doing. So I started getting belts at 5. Kept training, and my dad taught martial arts at this point 5 days a week. So I would go with him 5 days a week. Sometimes less because I was little. But as I got older, I would go every single day, 5 days. And at that point, you know, I'm moving up in the ranks, and I get my red belt at about 9. And I started competing in Taekwondo tournaments when I was 9 years old. Now, that was a huge transition because when I started, it was just karate. And then I got introduced to Taekwondo. And I had been sparring with kids my size, my rank, this whole time. But when I hit 9, it was a completely different world, you know, because you're fighting people that you don't know, and you're competing for something. So when I was 9 and I won my first tournament, I went to the Arizona State Championships at 9 years old, and then I was a fresh fighter. And and I actually got knocked out for the first time at that tournament at 9 years old. Full contact sparring, but for our age, we weren't supposed to be hitting to the head, and the kid cheated and hit me in the mouth, and I got knocked out. And that fired me up. It was the first time I had gotten hit hard. And it fired me up, and I ended up placing second at that tournament, and I qualified for nationals. Now, again, I had just started, so I was so scared, and I didn't know what to do. I was excited, but I was also like, I'm a new fighter and I'm going to nationals, you know? So my dad, you know, he pulled me aside, told me how good I did at the state championships. And he said, now, we can train and you can go to nationals and we can see how you do. Or we can train and you can go to nationals and you can win. And I was like, well, yeah, I want to win. Duh. Right? So my dad says, so either you're all in or you're all out. There's no in between. So, of course, I chose all in. So he told me it's not going to be easy. He warned me. He gave me a chance to walk away. And he also gave me chances to walk away all the time. Like if I wanted to complain, you know, or not work out or not do something, you can say, well, you can stop. I'm not going to stop you from doing what you want to do. But you told me this is what you wanted to do, and I'm going to train you the way that you need to be trained. And also, my dad also liked to train me very traditionally. So it was very intense and hardcore. But anyway, so I chose to train hard to win. And we would train 6 days a week at 9, 10 years old. I was waking up at 4 in the morning every single day, working out, going to school, doing my homework, going back to karate after school, going to sleep, and then the next day, rinse, lather, repeat. 4 a.m. to probably about 9 p.m. Like my whole day was martial arts and school. And so I go to nationals for the first time, and I'm a red belt. And I get there, and it's one of the biggest national championship, one of the biggest national championships that they have had in years. I think it was like 50,000 competitors in Orlando, Florida. And when I go to register, come to find out, in my forms, there was like 40 some competitors, and in sparring there was 56 fighters. Now I went to do forms, and I performed, and they disqualified me because I was a red belt and my uniform had a black stripe on it, the collar, black collar. And they said only black belts can wear a black collar. So I actually ended up placing 4th place when they said, they pulled me aside and told me that I did good enough for 1st place, but because of my collar, they took points off. And I placed 4th. Now, I was devastated. I didn't understand what the hell was going on. And my dad had to explain to me. But I was devastated. I wanted to go home, you know? I lost my first competition. Now, this wasn't even the sparring part, which is what we trained for. But I was just so brought down. And my dad told me to snap out of it. And we still have one more thing to do, and then we can go enjoy our time in Florida. So when I went to fight, it was so terrifying stepping onto that mat because it was just so big. The mat looked so big. The kid across from me looked so big, you know. And I fight, and I place 5th out of 56 competitors. And again, I'm young. I don't understand. I didn't win. And my dad had to explain to me that I did win. Because 5th out of 56 competitors, he's like, you won. You beat how many people? You won. You're in the top 5 in the nation. So, after that, I couldn't stop, man. I just kept competing. I had rivals, I had friends that I would go and see at just the tournaments. I would compete. And then, I got my black belt in karate and taekwondo at 11. And my dad always kind of had this like tough love type of relationship. Like he would say things to me. This is going to sound fucked up, but he would say things to me that would kind of not necessarily put me down, but kind of like make me feel like I couldn't do it, because then he knew me well enough that I would prove him wrong, or I would prove what he said wrong, even though he knew that I had it in me, So when I got my black belt and we went to the first taekwondo tournament, he's like briefing us, the team, and he looks at me and he goes, "You're fighting at black belt. Good luck." And I was like, what a fucking dick, dude. I'm like, okay, you were giving everybody fucking pointers and shit, and then you look at me and said, good luck, dude. You're fighting at black belt. And I kept pushing forward, and I kept training, and I kept training, and I kept training. I ended up, fighting at nationals multiple times, placing in the top 5 every time. I fought at international tournaments. I fought people from China. I fought people from Mexico, Canada, all over. The U.S. Open, I don't remember what I placed at the U.S. Open, but it was for black belts only, and it was an international tournament. I've trained with people from the Olympic Training Center. I've trained with, literal Olympians. My biggest idol at the time, he was a 3-time gold medalist at the Olympics. And I trained with those people, and it was just crazy to me that I had come so far to have the honor to train with all those people. And then when we first started going to nationals, we're kind of backtrack a little. When I was 9, we're from Arizona, and people would talk shit to our faces because at the time there weren't any Arizona fighters. So when they would hear that we were from Arizona, they would say, they're not going to win. They're from Arizona. You don't have to worry about them. We would hear people say to their students, we don't need to worry about them. They're from Arizona. Now, flash, 6 years later, me and my god sister and the team, my dad, we were the only team at the time going to these tournaments, and we were winning. And it got to the point my dad was, I believe he was offered a job at the Olympic Training Center. And he didn't take it, but I mean, that's how far we came. From when I was 9, we wasn't shit. Until when I was 16, people were afraid of us. So after that, I was probably about 13 years old, I decided to quit. You know, I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm taking all my time. I don't have friends. Like, I had friends, but I don't get to hang out with my friends. Whatever. And I quit. And then after that, you know, I started getting depressed. I started getting fucking fat, you know. I started missing it. And then I was like, oh, I'm not going to do karate anymore, but I'm just going to go and watch. And I would go and watch. And it's like, what's the point of that? You know, I would still go 5 days a week to go watch my dad teach. So then when I finally realized I really missed it and I needed to get back into it, I got back into it. Trained really hard, and at age 14 got my 2nd degree black belt in karate. Now, and for that test, it was a requirement that you had to be 16 to test. Now the requirement is 18. But I was 14. Maybe I was 15. I might have been 15. But either way, I was younger than I was supposed to be. And my dad just kind of, I mean, he didn't lie, but he just didn't say that I wasn't old enough. And they overlooked it. And that was the most intense test I had ever been through. And that's why there's an age limit, because like they put you through the fucking ringer. People got hurt. You know, they didn't hold back when they were trying to test if you could defend yourself, you know? They didn't hold back when you didn't show enough spirit. I almost cried during that test. Because, you know, I walked in thinking I was going to be all cocky and shit. And, you know, if I didn't yell loud enough or if I didn't have enough power, the judge sitting at the table would get up and he asked me, he's like, what are you doing here? And at that point I was like, fuck. What am I doing here? So I earned my 2nd degree black belt, and I kept fighting, and I kept going, and I was competing, and up until I was 16 years old at nationals and international tournaments. And then I ended up getting hurt, and after that I didn't take care of my injury, and I didn't take care of it. I didn't care. At that point I just essentially I gave up. You know, I gave up karate, and I didn't choose to quit, but I did. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say I don't want to do this anymore. I quit like I did when I was 13, but when I got hurt and I didn't take care of myself and I just stopped. I just fizzled out. And then, slowly but surely, again, I started missing it. And it sparked another fire in me. And it wasn't the competing fire that I had spent the last 6-7 years of my life doing. It was the fire of knowledge. Knowing as much as you possibly can in martial arts as a whole. Now, I was already a black belt, a 2nd degree black belt in karate, a black belt in taekwondo. What else could I learn? And me and my dad had already dabbled in other martial arts, aikido, you know, jiu-jitsu, all that. But, you know, I took it upon myself that I wanted to train in as many martial arts as I possibly could. And if I couldn't train in it, then I was studying it. You know, I would pick a country and I would be like, okay, what martial arts is in France? What martial arts is in Turkey? What, you know, and the origins and all that stuff. And then I got into the spiritual part, like the meditating and your chi and all that stuff. And I just wanted to understand martial arts as a whole. And at that same time, I had started teaching. And I started teaching, I believe, at 15. So I actually started teaching before I stopped competing. But at this point, I started teaching more and more and more and more. And I've been teaching for over 10 years now. And I love teaching. I absolutely love teaching. But during that time that I was trying to, find myself in the martial arts world, I had trained, me and my dad. He was still my coach and my instructor, but at the same time, he also became my training partner. So together, we were going and training with Dosho. He's the grandmaster in Aikido. Dosho is literally the last living student of the creator of Aikido. We trained with Richard Bustillo, who is also one of the only black belts who has been ranked by Bruce Lee. I've trained with I've trained with a bunch of people. Steven Lopez. I've trained with Jerry Cook in Kung Fu. And I was like, I don't know Kung Fu. Kung Fu is not my thing, but Jerry Cook, he right then and there saw that, saw me and my dad and our spark for martial arts, our love for martial arts, and he ranked us right there, certified us in his name. And we've trained together. We trained in Eskrima, the stick fighting martial art. We've trained with fuck, I can't remember his name. He was a jiu-jitsu master. Manny Escobar, I think that was his name. Can't remember. Anyways, so we essentially together would train together and practice together, and then after that, I turned 19, and I wanted to compete again. And I told my dad, "Here we go, let's do it again." You remember what you told me when I was 9? I'm all in. So I started training again, started winning again. Don't think I went to nationals again, but I just wanted to get back into the competing world. When I came back and I went to the Arizona State Championships at 19, I believe somebody said that I was a seasoned veteran. They said, seasoned veteran Juan Valenzuela makes his return, and he's fighting, and it was the guy's instructor, and he's fighting so-and-so at the Arizona State Championships in 2011, I think it was. And I read that post or article or whatever it was, and I was like, seasoned veteran, dude? Are you kidding me? I've been in the game so long, they're calling me a fucking veteran. And they're saying I'm coming out of retirement. Go fuck yourself, dude. I'm not that old. But yeah, so I made my return, and at that same tournament, I only had one person to fight. Now the other person, there was 3 of us. The other person didn't want to fight me. He knew who I was, and he didn't want to fight. He bowed out. He didn't want to fight. And I'm like, that's a waste of money, dude. You paid for this tournament. If anything, go ask for an exhibition match if you're gonna be a pussy, dude. So yeah, and then I would fight on and off after that point. You know, every other year I fought again when I was 21. I fought again when I was 23. Fought again when I was 26. And then I just recently fought last year when I was 27. So it was like, you know, every other year I was doing a tournament. I kind of decided that it wasn't for me, but I still like to train. And I still like to get out there and put myself through the fucking, put myself, challenge myself, because, I'll stop working out and then I'm like, oh, I'm fat. Oh, there's a tournament in a month. Let me fucking train and try to be ready in a month. Like an idiot. And, through that time of training, I learned to push my limits. I started breaking, testing my mind and my physical ability, breaking bricks. I think the biggest stack I did was 10 bricks. And I failed too. I've broken my hands multiple times. I, broke bones in my foot. Broke fingers. Breaking bricks. I damaged a tendon in my hand that it's, unfixable. And you learn from that, and you pushing yourself to, I failed because I broke my hand, or I failed because I didn't break the whole stack of bricks. I'm going to do it again when I feel better, obviously. Started breaking river rocks, and people think that it's fake, but I literally go outside, I grab a rock, and I say, I'm going to break this one. And I failed on that too. I grabbed a fucking piece of granite one time, and that was a mistake, but okay. But yeah, pushing my limits. And I still love to do that. So right now I'm still learning with my dad, training with my brother, and, still working out and stuff. By the way, I just remembered that guy's name is Martin Escobar in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So with all that said, we are where I'm at today. I have my own martial arts class. I have amazing students. What does the future hold for me? I personally, and I did, I've been teaching, but I stopped training too because I got busy with work and, developing my adult life. But, my future, I got back into training. I've been wanting to train. I've personally been wanting to get better for my students' sake. I want to be the best that I could be to teach them the best, to be the best that they can be. So, I want to continue to learn. I want to continue to get better and continue, evolving, I guess, in the martial arts world. You can never know enough. You can never stop learning. And that's just where I'm at. And I still train. My brother is about to go to nationals here in October. So I'm training with him, sparring with him so that he can get to that level where he wants to be right now in this point of his life. Now, he started late, when he was younger. I started young, and I lived that whole life up until I was 16. Now, he, trained and got his black belt and did all that too, but he didn't start competing or wanting to get real super serious until he was 16. So now I'm taking it upon myself with my dad to go and train him and help him. And help him the best that I can, being a sparring partner or whatever. If I give him advice, I don't know if he'll really listen to me, being his big brother, but I mean, I can still kick his ass every once in a while, But yeah, and it feels really good to have like it all in the family, You have it in the family, and it's just really awesome. It's something that we really bond over, We bond over doing martial arts. We bond over hurting each other. Like, to me, it's just really, really awesome. And martial arts really, really has molded me into the person that I am today. And we got deep. It's just something that I'm really passionate about, man. So that's my story. That's my story with martial arts. Obviously, there's a lot more. It's fucking 26 years of torture. Sometimes I actually felt like I was being tortured. My dad trained me literally to be a fucking Terminator. He can slam me, he can throw me. He'll do like a judo technique. Throw me as hard as he can onto a concrete floor, and I just get back up just like nothing happened. I can break river rocks with my hand, dude. It's just crazy to me. But it's lots of years and years and years of training to be able to do things like that. So, with all that said, producer Chris went out of his way to contact some people in my family, apparently. And I don't know what he asked them. What did you ask them? Don't get it. Okay, so he asked a question to my family, and we are going to hear what they said. Okay? First one, Chris?
I've never looked at Juan as a martial artist. He's always just been my big brother. And the way he's been with me, I would have been shocked if he was anything less than the incredible sensei he is. And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay. That was sweet, but also you're kind of a dick, Never looked at him as a martial artist, but he's my big brother. But he's a dickhead, but he's also a good sensei. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. That was a roller coaster of emotions with that one. I got pissed at first, and then I was like, oh, Okay. So that was my brother. Did I say that? That was my little brother. Next one is my mother.
Okay, so who is Juan as a martial artist? That is a good question. There's the obvious answers that I can give, that he's disciplined, that he's focused, that he's competitive. But Juan has done martial arts since he was a baby. He was 2. I have seen him evolve with martial arts from a shy little boy to a confident man. When he competed in tournaments, he was hardworking, determined, passionate. He gave his training and every fight all his blood, sweat, and tears, leaving a piece of his heart behind with every fight. These days, Juan really likes brick and rock breaking, and that requires a lot of focus and power. Honestly, I'm most proud of who he has become as an instructor. When he walks into the classroom, it's almost as if he just morphs into a different person. He's confident, he's strict but not too strict. He commands respect from both students and parents. I love seeing him with the students, and I love hearing them tell me what a good person he is, what a good instructor he is. He's so good with the kids, and there's such an artistry to the way he teaches. So I guess my simple answer would be that Juan, as a martial artist, is passionate, artistic, and motivating.
Wow. Wow. Mom, you almost got me. Okay? Almost got me. That was very, very amazing to hear. To hear those words. Okay? Oh god. Okay. Who was it? Wait, who was next? My dad.
So what is a martial artist? So if you really think about it, a martial artist is somebody who learns, adapts, changes, tries to do their best, and even when they fail at something, they try to turn it into a positive. They try to figure out a successful path from the defeat. In martial arts, you train, you compete, you make mistakes, you fail at a tournament, and you don't give up. You learn from your failure, you turn it into a lesson, and then you go back in, you try again until you figure it out, and then you do well. And I guess that's one of the best ways to describe Juan. So if you ask the question, who is Juan as a martial artist? I guess it's a rhetorical question. Juan is a martial artist in the true sense of the word martial artist. When somebody is a martial artist, a real martial artist, they change and they adapt and they learn every time new things are discovered, new styles are brought in. So maybe you start with Taekwondo or karate, then you learn some new moves from wrestling, you learn something from Aikido or Jiu-Jitsu, or a friend teaches you some Eskrima or some nunchucks, and you bring that into your style and you make it your own. And that's Juan. He is, as a martial artist, does all those things, and then he adds his own. He adds his own character to it. So if you look at Juan as a martial artist when it comes to the way he teaches or what he teaches, and also the way he competes and trains, it's not just a regurgitation of what he's learned. He also adds his own style to it, his own flair. So, one of the things that is a big part that shows the type of flair that he has, his own personal style. When I was teaching a class, 15 years ago, and Juan is behind me in a horse stance, and all the kids are standing there very seriously as I'm teaching a lesson, and then they start giggling. And I turn around and Juan's just standing there perfectly still in a horse stance. But then I look at the kids again and the kids are giggling again. So I knew at that point that Juan was making silly faces. So I just ran with it and I kept playing around with it, and he was just making the kids laugh. And that helped motivate the kids to learn more. The kids had a fun time. They learned the techniques I taught them, but then they remembered how much fun it was to have Juan in the class. And he still does that today. When he's teaching his classes, he makes the kids laugh. He has fun with them. He jokes around with them. And that's also part of being a martial artist. It's not being, Sergeant Slaughter or Sensei RoboCop, but just be a person. Just be a good person. And that's Juan as a martial artist.
that, I got a single tear, Dad. And Mom. Kind of both of them combined brought the one tear. Dude, my heart is pounding, dude. I've always felt really passionate about martial arts. And, when you don't talk about it, it's hard to understand that. It's hard to know that people see that passion inside of you. And, to hear those words, and it's not, like I said, it's not something that we talk about, Like, martial arts for us has been a way of life, It's been a part of all of our lives, and it's just normal conversation, but it's not normal to break it down, it's not normal for, like, me to hear my mom or my dad, tell me what they see in me as a martial artist. Like, obviously I know they're proud of me, and they tell me that they're proud of me all the time, but, in that kind of depth, it's really great to hear, that people can actually see that in me, Wow, man. Why did you do that? You're trying to make me cry on the camera, man. Fuck you, dude. Wow. We'll just say my heart's pounding from the fucking coffee, okay? Anyways. Wow. Well, that's the episode, man. We started off a little silly. And ended on a emotional note, I guess. Thank you guys for listening to Deep in Some Thoughts. You can follow us on all social media. Facebook is at Deep in Some Thoughts. Instagram is at Deep in Some Thoughts. Twitter is at DIST01. We'll get back to you on that one. You can... I don't even know their own Twitter name, dude. YouTube is Deep in Some Thoughts podcast if you want to see the video version. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or whatever, go ahead and email at I always want to say that. Email us at deepinsomethoughts@gmail.com. And the last thing I want to say is, I'll Carol bask in your dishes. Bye, guys. We'll see you next time.